All right, so you're back. We're going to do a third type of tessellation today. And this is the most complicated one. This is called a rotational tessellation. Why? Because it rotates. Haven't they all been rotating? Yeah, but wait till you see how this one works. This is really cool. We're going to use the nibbling technique again. I just love that name. But this time, instead of going directly across like we did with our translational, or flip-flopping and going directly across, we're going to take our nibble, and I already cut this out, and we're going to move it to the adjacent side. So we'll take it from here to here. Instead of going from here down to here, we're going to go from here to here, and that will create a turn. Wait till you see how this one works out. It's going to be so cool. So let's get started. So again, remember, use a Post-it note or something square to trace your square master out. I cut another one out of my cereal box here. Sure, I'm glad I finished that cereal today. And there you go, Kashi. So you need to start with something like this. Again, if that doesn't work for you, you can use a rectangular note card. Or remember what we did the first time is we took that Post-it note and we put it on top of a note card or piece of cardstock, anything like that, and we cut out a perfect square. It is best to start with a perfect square, especially for the rotation. A square would be ideal. So here's a piece of note card, and here is a piece of cereal box. And as you can see, I really prefer the cereal box style. So what we're going to do is make a new design. And just like before, we're going to go from one corner to the other corner. You could use pencil. In fact, I think I'm going to use pencil because I end up changing my mind a lot on these. And I really like the way some of my jagged shapes worked last time, so I'm going to make kind of a combination of things. So I made from one corner to the other corner, just a kind of a cool design. Now I'm going to cut it out carefully. Carefully, remember, keeping your fingers intact is the most important thing we can do. So again, if you want to get some help from a big person to do the cutting, please do. Better safe than sorry. Plus, if you end up messing up your cuts, you will not be happy. Remember, you have to end right at the corner. So you got to go very slowly. Make sure you end right at the corner. Now check this out. So I have this here. I'm not going to flip it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it out, and I'm going to put it over here instead. So notice I'm sliding it out, and I'm just turning it so it backs up over here. So I'm not flipping it or anything. And if I'd rather, I could do it down here instead. It really doesn't matter which side you do it to, as long as it's one of the other sides. So I'll just do it over here. And then you're going to tape this. And you could actually, you know what I'm going to say if you've been watching my other two videos. The pro level technique is to take this and do the other side too. So if you want to do that, then you would start off not with the opposite of your original, but with the bottom. So if you cut this side, now you would cut this side. And do I want to do that? Well, kind of, but I'm not going to. I want to demonstrate how this works. And then if you want to do that pro level, you can totally do that. So now I'm going to trace this, and I'm going to use my blue pen again because I really like that. I'm going to put it at an angle. I think things look more fun at an angle. And then I'm going to carefully hold it down tightly. And remember, this is called rotational. So when we pick our template up and move it, we're going to be kind of rotating it. But we don't have to think about that. All we have to do is put it right where the puzzle pieces fit. Because we're creating our own puzzle on paper. We're our own jigsaw puzzle. And it may not look like anything in the end, except amazing. So where does this go? So I just kind of turn it until it fits somewhere. Does that fit somewhere? Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it fits right there. So you have to, I had to turn it. I see. So I just had to turn it 90 degrees that way. Duh. Why did it take me so long to figure that out? So you slide it in there until it's just right, and then you trace this. This is going to look pretty cool. And this would be a cool one to color because it's going to look amazing. Okay. Maybe I should have done this one in the middle of a big piece of paper because it's going to look like a giant square when I'm done. I'm just realizing it's going to look like a giant square. But a giant square will look pretty cool. This is actually my first time making a rotational tessellation, so you get to see first reaction. Look at that. Probably should have done it in the middle of the page. That does look pretty cool. Tell you what, now that you know how to do that, let's go pro level. I'm going to get another piece of scrap paper here. Is that, oh, the CML answer key for last time. I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut, what was my original size? I'm going to cut from here and I'm going to stick it, no, I'm going to cut from here, right next to the side I originally cut. And I'm going to stick it over here. Okay, let's figure this out together. So I originally cut that one, so now I'm going to make, whoa, I don't have a lot of room to mess with. I'm going to make a kind of a simple thing here. And this will be nice because I won't be limited to just that one square with 4 of them rotating. The whole thing will rotate forever, all the way to the corner carefully. But it is real important. I'm pretty sure this is a very important thing to not cut the opposite side from where you originally did it. You have to do the one that's adjacent to it or at a right angle. Okay, so yeah, none of the sides, this is not a polygon. None of the opposite sides is parallel or congruent. This is a crazy shape. This is not a polygon. This is not a parallelogram. This is not a rhombus. This is my tessellation template. So look at that. The opposite sides look nothing like each other. This is going to be so cool. So I'm just going to start in the middle at some crazy angle. I'm going to hold down. Wow, this side is so tiny that I have to be very careful tracing it because it's just going to bend or rip off if I'm not careful. Ooh, this is my trickiest one yet. You got to hold it very tight, be very careful. And I think with these tessellations, the trickier it is, the more I like it. Because the end result here is going to be pretty wild. And like I said, I've never tried this, so I'm not sure. Oh, it goes like that. I'm not sure exactly what this will look like in the end. This is my first try. This is my second try, but it's my first try with doing all the sides. And I think I'm definitely going to prefer this. Oops, I slipped a little. So we'll line it back up. And I do like using a colored pen now that I've tried it to trace. So I would recommend maybe using, what fits here? Colored pencil, skinny marker, if you have any skinny Crayola markers. Highlighter, well, highlighters kind of fade over time, so that's probably not the best idea. They look bright and bold, but then they fade. If you've ever tried writing with a highlighter, you know that it's not actually as cool as you think it would be. Oh, that fits perfectly. Well, what fits where? You just keep turning it until something fits. There we go. That fits. And so it's just a matter of finding where the puzzle pieces go, putting them in position, and then creating the puzzle. Oh, it's so skinny down there. Creating the puzzle by tracing it as you go. Oops. I'm getting a little too excited and going too fast. I need to slow down here. But I know you don't necessarily want to watch me do all of it. But, oh, this is so cool. Line it up carefully. Oh, tessellations are amazing. I could go on. I mean, this is really neat. Part of me wants to make a tiny square and do one of these so that it just fills it with all these cool shapes. That is a cool one. I really like that. Although, I don't know which one my favorite is. I kind of like that one the best so far. Oh, they're all so much fun, aren't they? Okay, well, that's how you do a rotational tessellation. If you leave two of the sides square, then it ends up looking like a four square, which is really cool. And it'd be cool to do it in the middle and then cut it out and color it. And if you do it pro style, it ends up a little crazier. I actually don't like this one as much, but I think this is how MC Escher did a lot of his. So have fun tessellating. This is the last one we're going to do, but the sky's the limit. So if you're into this, you just keep messing around with it. And pretty soon you'll be the next MC Escher. All right, have fun tessellating.